If you're anything like me, then you've probably, at least once or twice in your life, asked yourself, I wonder what my life would look like if it was a movie. Now, if you're nothing like me, then you're probably thinking, no, Bokang, I live in the realm of reality. Why would I ever ask myself such a question? Well, as someone who's actively working on shifting their reality and changing their lives, albeit in a slightly unconventional, some might say delusional type of way, I want you to hear me out. Okay, let me give you some context first. So, growing up, I was absolutely enamored with the world of movies and TV. Okay, I just loved all things cinema. In fact, one of my core memories was going to the movies every weekend with my dad and my brothers, and we'd just watch films. If there was a new film out, trust me, we would be there and we would watch. Sometimes we'd watch two films back to back, because back then, getting a movie, a slash, and popcorn did not cost you a whole kidney. Okay, times have changed. But my point is that if you grew up in that era in the early 2000s, then you'd know that there was one genre that reigned supreme above them all. And that, my friends, was the romantic comedy. Listen, that was the golden age of rom-coms. And one thing about me, as Hollywood was pumping them out, I was eating them up. They just felt like magic, from those quirky and unique storylines to the to die for wardrobes, the dreamy careers, and of course, that heart stopping butterfly raising love stories. Injected. In fact, you know what, guys? I'm going to credit my unrealistic expectations to life and love to those rom coms. I never stood a chance. You can't blame me. It's not me, it's their fault, okay? So, naturally growing up in that time, being raised by those films, I couldn't wait to grow up. I couldn't wait to be an adult because, in my mind, by 25, I would by day be an award winning filmmaker, actor, writer, director. And then by night, put on a little slinky dress, go out with the girls to the hottest bar, have a little drink. Then the next day, go to my favorite cafe where not only do they know me by name, they've got my go to order ready, and I'm leaving out there with my meet cute soulmate. All right? Cut to reality. 30 years old, and let's go by the checklist. Okay, award-winning film career. Okay, that's looking more like oscillating between editing my YouTube videos and writing my scripts that nobody really reads, and then kind of just questioning it all and spiraling on LinkedIn looking for a job. Not that there are any jobs in this economy to begin with. So that's where that's at. Dreamy wardrobe. Listen, don't let this fool you. I know today, we spruced up a little good. We spruced up a little nice, but my day-to-day wardrobe is usually just my go-to hoodie and whatever pair of leggings I can find, probably with a couple of holes in them by the inner thigh. That's that's not necessarily making your grand entrance ready look, but it's what I've been wearing. So that's wardrobe, social life, on life support, love life, in desperate need of resuscitation because currently Friday night, date night, is looking like me and Uber Eats sitting in front of my TV and binge watching whatever K drama is on Netflix. So, yeah, not quite a rom com that I would want to watch, and definitely not the rom com that I envision myself living. And I don't know when it was. Maybe, it was one of those Friday nights and I was watching 13 going on 30 for like the 10th time. Love that film so much. And there's, a scene in the beginning where Jenna is sitting in her closet after being humiliated by her classmates. And she just closes her eyes on the floor, crouched. And she keeps on saying to herself, I want to be 30, flirty, and thriving.
I want to be 30. 30 and flirty and thriving. 30 and flirty and thriving.
30, flirty, and thriving. Child, and I said, me too. I said, me too, because currently I'm 30, unflirty, barely surviving. I want to be 30, flirty, and thriving. But unfortunately, this isn't a movie, right? This is real life. And there isn't magic pixie dust that's going to transport me into a new version of my life or a genie that's going to come and grant me three wishes. If I want any change, I'm going to have to do it myself. I'm going to have to take control of my script because if we're being honest, the screenwriters of my life have clearly been on strike and make some changes. We have to do an active rewrite. And that's when that's honestly how the idea sparked, because I was like, I've been watching these movies and I've been thinking, oh, my life would be so great as a rom-com, but what if it was? What if my life could actually just harness a little bit of that magic and implement it into my actual real life? I mean, if you think about it, I'm not too far off from those girls. Every main character, every rom-com heroine gets to a point in the film where they are stuck, unfulfilled, and something has got to give. I mean, even Jenna, once she'd made her wish to be 30 and flirty and thriving, she all of a sudden wakes up and she's 30, but she's floundering through this life where she doesn't feel like she belongs, where it's not her. And so she's got to make some changes to, she's got to lean into her authenticity and a little bit of that 13-year-old to make her life her own. Or even Eva from Deliver Us from Eva, you know, she's always been controlled, rigid by the book, and this is how things have to be. But she then has to say yes to love and going on a date, you know, just it's just one small decision that she has to make to prioritize her joy and to loosen up a little. And honestly, I can't not reference my girl Elle Woods, who in the beginning of the film she quickly gets broken up with. I mean, she's been in this relationship for so long. She's been perfect. Life is looking up. But basically, Warner, her long term boyfriend, breaks up with her because she doesn't fit the mold of what his perfect woman is. And Elle is like, listen, you might be like, I don't know if that's the best motivation for making a big change in your life. But she was like, boy, you going to Harvard? I'm going to Harvard. Let me go get my man. And not only did she do it, she applied to Harvard and she got in, but then she ended up realizing that, babes, this whole journey wasn't even about the man. I can do way better than you anyway, which you can and you did, period, Elle. So I was like, I'm clearly just in the first act of the rom-com of my own life. And it just takes one decision, one little act of permission that I can give myself to change direction. A little bit of that audacity that those girls had. I need to channel that and put that into my life. Thus, the great rom-com experiment was born. And for the past few weeks, it's almost 2 months now, actually, since I posted my first video, I decided to document this journey where with each video, each episode, because for me, it's a series and I'm the main character, hello, um, I have been tackling one area of my life and actively just making small steps to experiment, to be curious, to challenge myself, to try new things. And the crazy thing is that I've actually been seeing change, and not this overnight, my life is completely different and perfect kind of change, but gradual, fun, meaningful, interesting change in my life. And as I've been sharing my journey across the weeks on my Instagram and my TikTok, for those of you on YouTube who just follow me on YouTube, so the series has mainly been on, it's a short form series, so it's been on Instagram and TikTok. The crazy thing is, like, not only has there been change, but there have been people, other people who are like, you know what, I want to do this too. And we're kind of building this community where we're all rom-comming our lives. And it's really, really cool. And in one of the first videos that I posted, I got a comment where someone was like, girl, what did she say? Let me actually find that comment. I don't even remember what exactly she said. Let me get the receipts properly for you guys, so I'm not lying to you. Happy when it comes to paraphrasing, I'm not the girl. I'm not the girl. I will make it up completely. So, okay, so yeah, she said, how about a podcast where we can follow your story and ideas? And when I first saw this, I was like, oh, love that idea. Do I have the capacity? I don't think so. Do I want to add something else to my plate? Maybe not, maybe later. But the idea, the comment kept on ringing up with every video I posted, because I realized there's just so much more to the journey that I wanted to share and that couldn't be done in 2 minutes. So you know what? I was like, this is a moment for an audacious decision. And I'm going to create an extension of the Rom-Comming My Life series and have a rom-com edition of According to Be, where not only am I going to be obviously sharing my journey and my ideas with you guys, I'm going to be sharing, a lot of through the listeners dispatch, which is a segment in the podcast where you guys also get to send in your voice notes and share your thoughts, your experiences, and a little bit of your rom-com journey too. But I am a conversation person, and I'm such a believer in learning from each other's stories and each other's experiences. And I just know so many other women who are main characters in their own right. And so I was like, y'all come in and let's have conversations and let's hear how you did it so I can apply that to my life and you guys can take the gems and do the same too. And that's how we are here. And I want to share with you guys a little bit of what you guys had to say. Because, like I said, listeners dispatch, we're in this together. And I want to hear where you guys are at as much as I'm sharing where I'm at. Before that, I want to just share a little bit about this word that I keep on saying, audacity, such a big buzzword. But I recently came across a TikTok, and in the comment section, somebody said, life meets you at your level of audacity. And I was like, oh my gosh, absolutely. But what does audacity mean? You might be thinking. For me, it's the bold, maybe slightly ridiculous decisions that you make to kind of bridge from where you are to where you want to be. So for some people, it's going to look like moving to a new city. For others, it's going to be leaving a job that has been draining them. And it doesn't even have to be something so big and drastic. It can just be like wearing that red lipstick or that outfit that shows off a body part that you would usually cover. Or actually, trying that Pinterest board outfit, a Pinterest board outfit. But you guys know what I'm trying to say, that you just never thought that you would, or you just kept putting it off. And that's what I mean, because you're going to hear me like talking about audacity and being audacious a lot. And that's the heart of what we're doing, to just push ourselves and to get out of our comfort zone and to ultimately build a life that we not only love, but a life that we truly live. So then I ended up asking you guys, if your life was a rom-com, what would the opening scene be? Set the stage for us and added on to that. Child, what was the next part of it? Oh, yes. And the next part was, what is one audacious dream that you're giving yourself permission to act on? I want to play these voice notes and give you my thoughts on them. All right. Let's play them and let's chat.
If my life was a rom-com right now, I think this is what the narration would sound like at the opening credits. I had a plan. By 29, I'd be married. Check. And climbing the ladder at a trendy marketing firm. Not so much. And maybe I'd also be thinking about a baby. Okay, maybe not a baby. But 2 months after saying I do, and one surprise retrenchment later, I find myself jobless, mildly panicked, and binge watching cooking shows in my pajamas. Love, check. Career, missing in action. Enter the list. 29 things to do before 30. 1 year, 1 city, and one slightly unhinged quest to prove that I'm not spiraling, I'm just evolving. And I think I'd call it 29 and fine, mostly. Yeah.
So I'm absolutely obsessed. Listen, I'm tuned into 29 and fine mostly. In fact, this actually reminds me of my little slogan of when I turned 29, my life, my theme, or it was really a slogan where it was 29, 20 fine, and 20 right on time. And I think this relates to this really well, to this submission really well, because life is going to throw spanners in the works for all of us. And sometimes, or more often than not, we're going to get to a place in our lives where we're like, this is not how I pictured things going. My girl, at least you have love check. Some of us have question marks in all the areas, but it doesn't matter how many checks you have or how many question marks you have. Because honestly, there are some people who have the checks in like all the areas, but it's not exactly what they thought, or there is some level of disappointment and dissatisfaction with the things that they thought they wanted. So we're all in this space where we have the opportunity to, one, accept reality, and to one, get to a place of self-acceptance and know where you're at, and know that you're not necessarily a project that needs to be fixed, but you can reframe your situation in different ways. And that just brings me to the idea of romanticizing your life, where in the small ways, it doesn't have to be everything big. You don't have to pack up your bags and go move to Europe. And, if you can, do that. And if you can afford to bring a plus one, hit me up. But there's just small ways where we can reclaim ourselves and our lives and our joy, whether that's buying yourself flowers, cooking your favorite meal, going out and exploring. 29 and mostly fine. Insert whatever age you are and wherever you are in your life. You are fine. And it's all about making the small moments big. And that's ultimately how we go from being the side character in our lives to then becoming the main character. Now think of you just a door having been opened and you can walk into, a new adventure. And yeah, okay, I'm going to leave it at that. Let's listen to the next one.
If my life was a rom-com, I'd be 29, turning 30, having recently started a new business after experiencing years and years of career instability, but now deciding that I'm going to do this thing, the thing that I'm actually revisiting now after having walked away a couple of years ago because of I was just a lot more inexperienced at the time, not very confident in myself. And at the same time, I'm standing in front of a mirror, getting ready for a date because I've decided to open myself up to love again after having gone through a very hectic heartbreak and thinking that I would never ever desire being in love again. I'm ready now. I'm ready to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm putting myself out there no matter what.
Yes, 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 yes. This is entirely the rom-com energy that we are embodying. This is what this journey, this experiment, this adventure is all about. I love how, first of all, congratulations on starting that business. Restarting something can be just as scary as starting something completely new. So, absolutely, congratulations. And I think the second takeaway that we can take from this is saying yes to things that feel scary, whether that is going into a new career or restarting or reigniting an old passion that you had, or saying yes to love after whether it's heartbreak and the failed relationship, or whether it's not having dated at all or not having dated in a really long time. Sometimes it can be scary to be like, I actually want this. Where do I begin? You start by acknowledging to yourself that that's something that you want and giving yourself permission to pursue it. So that is so exciting. So far, we've got romanticizing the everyday little things, and we've got saying yes to something scary. All right, so now on to our last voice notes.
If I was a main character, I would be 27, living in my parents' house, sitting behind my desk, working on an uninspiring project. There are people knocking on my door, asking me questions because I'm also the family PA. But my audacious choice would really be quit my job, take out all my savings, and pack my bags and move out and become the creative entrepreneur that I've always really wanted to become.
Obsessed, obsessed. Okay, we're going to listen to the next one and then we'll debrief.
Okay, so I'm 30. I'm single, stable job. I'm in a healthy routine. I'm finally ticking the normal people boxes, and my family couldn't be happier that I pushed all my creative dreams all the way back, and I'm focusing on a steady paycheck, a steady life. Only one day, the fuck it in my head is louder than ever before. I withdraw all my savings, alles, every last cent, and I fly to Barcelona. And there I start to create again. Only this time I'm creating evidence of me, evidence of my life in the 20s, the hurts, the growth, the healing, the relapses, the up again, the look, everything. This time, though, I'm unapologetic, I'm bold, and I love the fuck out of myself.
Oh my gosh, I love those two so much. You guys, I think just listening to those is two things. Is one, giving yourself permission to dream again, and two, dream big. Okay? This is the time to just dream big, even if it feels out of reach, impossible, a little bit silly. Start with just writing down whatever it is that you want for yourself. Not all of us can like take out our savings and then, go to the other side of the world and start again. And sometimes it's not even about that just yet. Sometimes you just have to get clarity on what it is that you want and just allow yourself to bask in the possibility of what is actually available to you, what could be available to you, and what a life of your dreams actually looks like. Both of my girlies here are super creative, and I think just giving yourself permission to take one step towards whatever that your creative goal is. So even if it's starting a podcast, if it's writing, doing that thing, and all those small little steps are gonna help build the courage and build that muscle into executing. And one day you're gonna find yourself, having moved out and quit your job and, pursuing your creative passions and with your production company or whatever your creative career is. Or you might just, I don't know, get a residency in Spain, in Kenya or somewhere, and be able to go and just fully live a life that was kind of beyond your wildest dreams, but now is your everyday reality. And that's what I'm hoping for you guys. That's what I'm hoping and what I am holding on to and praying for and believing for me too in this journey. So yeah, guys, I hope you're excited. Like I said earlier, if you want to follow the actual journey of how my story plays out, make sure to do that on Instagram or TikTok. I'll be sharing the rom-com-ish episodes there. Oh, it's called rom-com-ish because it's my life as a rom-com-ish, because there's still some, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, here will be the debrief. The next couple of episodes are going to be some conversations with some really cool people, but we'll definitely have. Let me know if you like these solo, heart to heart, girl to girl, or if you're one of the guys, girl to guy, main character to main character. If you like these solo episodes, let me know, and I'll also make sure to thread them in as well. And let's see where this goes. Exciting. Okay, I'm gonna end it off with something. I want to use this line somewhere in this podcast. I just don't know where and how, but I'm gonna end it off with it. If it's weird, okay, it's fine. So this is where our story starts, guys. Lights, camera. It's time to take action. Ah! Do you get it? Do you get it? All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.